While we are assembling to share the video, share it in groups, share it on your page, share it to everybody. Let them know we're here. Yeah? Social media and Facebook tell me today that my post gets shared 1,360,000 times. That is nearly one share for every man, woman, and Trinidad, and one man, woman, and child in Trinidad and Tobago. So Samko, you can keep your media now. We're doing it without you. Talking about Trinidad, we have the goods and the bad. Welcome to Trinidad, where I'm the country man. Talking about TVO, Bacchanal, that's the way we go. Shots will fire, waves will bend when we hear a soul calypso. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Put up your hand, but never surrender. That is Trinidad. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. How we love it, man. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. This is Trinidad. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Put up your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. How we love it, man. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. This is Trinidad. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. Raise your hand, but never surrender. How we love it, man. Put up your hand. All out water. Raise your hand. Put up your hand. Put up your hand, never surrender. Tonight, lies, damn lies, and pocket squares in your rukung kotunkum are here today. Don't run slack, endorse the UNC. And I want to tell you, that sounds just about right. Because that is what the UNC is all about, stunt. Stunt for them, Kamala, who negotiate the deal. Who it is pay, who it is organize the deal to ruin Chigo Alo's career, to sing, she's royal, so royal. Nobody want to hear anything Alo say, but Alo's get paid. Alo's taking money. That's the UNC. Buy themselves forward. Nobody taking them on. No matter what they share on Facebook. Kamala went and read the Bible for them in Maruga. Nobody cares. According to NACTA, more than 50% of the public wants nothing to do with the UNC and the PNM, and they're running scared. So they send money for Doran Slack. Doran Slack, this is what I had to deal with in the election coming. I had to deal with all them kind of gimmickies and stunt artists. No problem. No problem at all. That is what they want. That is what speaks for the UNC. To the UNC supporters who fed up of Sack Mirage and that kind of mad-ass ranting. If all they're not fed up yet, take Doran Slack. Take that. This is not about the UNC. But it is in the news, and it is something that you have to see and to talk about. Because if Sack Mirage, they done, replace him with Doran Slack. That is the madness that the opposition want to give. But while the opposition failing at their job, the Progressive Empowerment Party is taking up that responsibility because we're holding the government's feet to the fire. We're challenging them on how they operate in the country, and where it is possible, we're exposing all the wrongdoing. A man told me today, Phil, stop talking about the wrongdoing in the government. And I said, you may think that you will pick up a broom or a mop home to clean your house without seeing the dust, but it is the dust that encourages you to clean. And that is what we need, a clean sweep in Trinidad and Tobago. So you cannot not know, and you cannot not remember. You have a duty and a responsibility. You're supposed to be telling me, Philip, tell us more. We need to know. Jam it in with craw. Make it so that we never forget where we come from. Under Stuart Young, minister responsible for national security, a fake police station was allowed to be built and operated with impunity in Diego Martin. Under Stuart Young, minister responsible for immigration, our border protection collapsed, allowing this nation to become swamped with illegal immigrants, and our departure and arrival at the nation's airport has become a nightmare. Under Stuart Young, minister responsible for the Coast Guard, lack of fuel has all our boats tied up in Chagaramas, leaving the borders of this country wide open for drugs, guns, and human trafficking, resulting in an upsurge in gun crimes, murder, and missing women, and tankers dragging millions of dollars worth of drugs into port. Under Stuart Young, minister responsible for the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service, fire equipment has gone missing, has not been accounted for, or deteriorated due to a failure to maintain and manage, resulting in a fire station burning to the ground. Stuart Young told a reporter on TV6 that the borders cannot be secured. I want to bring that conversation to you, you know. But tonight I have to deal with King Zessa, Faris, Johnny Sukaran Al-Rawi. I want to deal with him and Mona. I want to deal with Nazem Nahus. And I want Michael Nahus to hear me. I am talking about Nazem Nahus, who signed a document between the Nahus family that own Alexandra Place, Alexandra Street, wherever the frick they own. Nazem Nahus, who is not a director on anything and had no authority to sign. The state has entered an agreement with somebody who is not a director. I am waiting to find out what is preventing Marley McDonald from tearing up that lease and from the DPP and the... Anyway, stick a pin. Coming back to that, we're dealing with Stuarty Boy, Junior Pocket Square. Stuart Young says the borders cannot be secured, omitting to mention that the National Operations Center and Air Guard that were doing human service, including holding the strain, has been dismantled under his watch. The same Stuart Young who did not know that his own stepdaughter was dealing drugs until she was caught with a mountain of weed and cocaine. Were it not for an effective commissioner of police picking up the slack, national security may have already collapsed. Stuart Young's incompetence has led to the most disarray ever experienced in every division of this nation's armed forces and the lowest morale in our history. The only thing that Stuart Young has accomplished since being made minister is to place orders for boats from a company linked to a family member of his, who is also a former minister and a P&M financer, from a boat supplier that heretofore previously sold us 6 boats that never worked, hundreds of millions of dollars tied up down in Chagaramas, renting space in a macabre Coast Guard water taxi graveyard for boats that we buy brand new that never work. And guess what? We're paying rent to tie them in that graveyard too. Seriously, Trinidad and Tobago, where is your self-respect? How could this mocking pretender Stuart Young still have a job? Why are you so lazy and irresponsible with your democracy that Stuart Young could be drawing millions in salary to make a mess of whatever he touches? Mr. Minister of Everything and Nothing has a reverse Midas touch. Once he touches it, it's going on mash up. Stuart Young, Stuarty Boy, I am the one who named you that. I named you Minister of Everything while the UNC was still trying to find the drawers and the belt. Now they line up behind the PP, sounding just like we. No, sir. Stay far. Come back to this. The government of the day serves the people. They operate and hold office at the will of the people. Why do we continue to allow this? Don't run slack. Let me talk about your boy now, King Zessa. There is a document that was put in my mailbox, and I am happy to say that I have joined the ranks of Rowley and Faris Al-Rawi because people are now leaving me documents in my mailbox. They appreciate it. This is what I have gotten. A notice of a board of directors that says on November the 8th, 2018, a company by the name of Zaman Enterprises Limited filed a notice of change of directors. It switched out Faris Al-Rawi as a director and switched in Abraham Al-Rawi, formerly known as one of the duo photographed with AR-15s illegally on a state army base. Stick another pin. All you know, all them pins come back out at some time, but stick a pin. Faris Al-Rawi, aka Johnny Sukaran, was removed as a director on the 8th of November. So that sounds pretty much correct. But what I have is also from my mailbox, Appendix 10, emblazoned Zaman Enterprises, dated November 30th, 2018, addressed to the Permanent Secretary in bold, Ministry of Public. Call all their friends, you know. Call them. This ain't no door-run Slack video. This is real information. Now, it may be bacchanal, but it is the kind of bacchanal that Keith Rowley, the DPP, the chairman of the Integrity Commission, Her Excellency the President, and maybe even the Commissioner of Police will be talking about soon. Because I've sent all these documents on to them. Tomorrow, I will print them out and I will deliver them by hand to the media. But I sent them to the media tonight. So let's see what happens. Spread the word. Tell them. Come and hear this. Dear Sir, Madam, read your proposed lease or... Just now, I want to make sure I'm reading them in the right order for you here. But this one is important. This one is the one I want you to get first. And this one is dated October 15th, 2018. So this other one is November the 30th, 2018. Let's come back to October 1st, because this one is important. This one is from Nazem Nahus. Now, I just read to you the notice of directors. I can read it again. The directors of Zaman Enterprises that owns number 3 Alexandra Street. Not Alexander, Alexandra. Those who are wrong long time know it as the site of the abortionist clinic Max Awan. All you remember that? All you don't know that? Forget that. Oh gosh, Phil, we used to go to church with the man Cherem. Let me pretend that never happened now. Cool. Stick up in there. Zaman Enterprises Limited have 3 directors. As of this signing, 1 was removed. Faris Johnny Sukaran Al-Rawi was removed for Abraham Al-Rawi and Mona Nahus, who is also the secretary. Yeah? There is no mention in this document of Nazem Nahus, but it is Nazem Nahus who negotiated with Trinidad and Tobago's government through the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Administration and Communications. Now, if you are confused as to the link, this is why 3 tons of fun, Marlene McDonald was the one to jump up and defend the deal. Because it is Marlene, Clean Hands, Pure Heart McDonald of Karoo and Calabar fame that is in this bacchanal too. It is Marlene, further from God, nearer to church McDonald and Berkey Burke fame, who is again in this bacchanal, P&M style. Anyway, dear sir, madam, because Nazem didn't know who he was writing to, but it doesn't matter to these people. We're talking money, okay? Your proposed lease rental of 3 Alexandra Street, Sinclair, to accommodate the Ministry of Labor and Small Enterprises. We refer to your letter dated October 2nd, 2018. Now that is an important date, because this letter from Nazem was stamped as received by the Ministry of Public Administration and Communications on October 22nd, 2018. And as of the moment that stamp was applied to this document, Faris Johnny Sukaran Al-Rawi was still two important things to this conversation. The Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago and a director shareholder of, what's the name of the company? Zaman. We refer to your letter dated October the 2nd, 2018, as well as your letter dated August 8th, 2018. We are pleased to accept the state's offer to lease the captioned A-class commercial premises for the monthly sum of $600,000 VAT exclusive. We ask you to note, however, that the square footage of the captioned premises and number of car parking spaces listed in your said letter of August 8, 2018 are incorrect. By way of certification, we hereby attach for your information and record survey plan in respect of the said building prepared by Nasser Abdul, licensed land surveyor, in March 2017, showing the gross square footage of the building, the net square footage of the building, and the number of car parking spaces available. We inform that we previously responded to your letter of August 8, 2018, but it appears that you may not have received same. In the circumstances, it would be appreciated if you could acknowledge receipt of this letter by signing and returning the attached duplicate hereof. We look forward to your response. Now, what I have is this letter from Nazem Nahus, stamped with the official stamp of the Ministry of Public Administration and Communication, dated October 22nd, 2018, meaning that the document that I have in my possession is from the ministry that they got from Nazem, which I am assuming, because this one is stamped and initialed, I am assuming that they followed Mr. Nahus's request, because it's signed yours faithfully, Nazem Nahus. Now, I do not know how Nazem Nahus comes, but they could say he was their agent. What I need to find out is who signed the lease, and we are going to send a request for information for that tomorrow. We are going to send a request for information tomorrow to find out who signed the lease. Because if it's Nazem Nahus and he was not a director at the time, the lease is null and void. But they could backdate a letter giving him some power of attorney or some nonsense. But the important thing to understand is this. And Trinidad and Tobago need to be specifically, lucidly clear on what I'm about to tell you. According to the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we only need two people to make a government. The Prime Minister and the Attorney General. That means that neither could ever be recused. Could ever be recused. The office of the Attorney General and the Prime Minister. Right? What you have to understand is, and I want you to get this straight from the Integrity and Public Life Act, Section 29, and this is the applicable section. For the purposes of this act, a conflict of interest is deemed to arise if a person in public life or any person exercising a public function were to make or participate in the making of a decision in the execution of his office, and at the same time knows or ought reasonably to have known. Did Mona roll over and scratch Faris in the back of his head and say, baby? Marlene agreed. That building that we couldn't sell, that we even advertised in Barbados looking for a tenant, Marlene says she could take it, alright, honey bunny boo boo. That could have happened. They could have been having dinner. And while Nazim was asking Mona to pass the gravy, it could have passed through Faris' hands. And Nazim could have said, Mona, did you give Faris the good news that Marlene has accepted our building that has been lying down and nobody wanted it next to one Alexandra place? Maybe because it's abortion land, maybe because of all of the bacchanal with one Alexandra, nobody want to touch 3 Alexandra. So we couldn't give it away. Did you tell Johnny? That could happen. One could reasonably expect, sitting on a porch, having a glass of port, wine, brandy. I don't know what Nazim and Faris do at the end of a busy day of making deals with government for buildings. But Naz could have said, I wrote Marlene and they accepted. They've accepted. We're in the money again, Johnny boy. Any person, for the purpose of this act, a conflict of interest is deemed to arise if a person in public life or any person exercising a public function, let's assume they mean Attorney General, were to make or participate in the making of a decision in the execution of his office, which is the entire cabinet, because he's the Attorney General, and at the same time knows or ought reasonably to have known that in the making of the decision, there is an opportunity, either directly or indirectly, to further his private interests or that of a member of his family or of any other person. So this speaks to corrupt enrichment before the fact, where you are a material beneficiary in the deal being made. Now it is beyond the pale that Faris could not know that this deal was being made. It is beyond argument. You can't even, if you stood up in the court and you're trying to raise this, the judge will say, come on man, you think you're talking to a jackass? Sit down, back down. Let's be honest here. Faris Al-Rawi, as the Attorney General, knows that he owns a building that he can't give away. He can't rent it. They can't sell it. Nobody wants it. They advertise it for $400,000 in Barbados. People say no thanks. Come back. They have another letter here. You want to see how stinking nasty these people is? They come back here and convince Marlene McDonald to rent it. I want you to hear this one. They tried to rent this Terra Caribbean. I want you to see all the different organizations that you think are above reproach, like Caesar's wife. All of them, as they speak from the Vatican, this is holy words. Because if Terra Caribbean says it, then it must be so. So when Terra Caribbean put a massive ad and boosted Caribbean-wide to rent Faris building for $430,000, and when the Mark bus that he rented to the government for $575,000 plus VAT, and Terra Caribbean's website loses only that page, that even though we have the screenshot of the Terra Caribbean ad, because Google not in Faris, Mona, and Nazim Bacchanal. So no matter who Nazim, Faris, and Mona know in Terra that could have get Terra to pull down the ad itself is still a picture on Google, because Google not pulling that down. And the next time that Google will realize that that is a blind link is 6 weeks from now. But we've already screenshot and saved all of Google information. So it doesn't matter. But what would prompt Terra to have an ad that when you click the link, it says, oops, you may have clicked a link that doesn't work. May have, we did. The link not work in Terra. Why? Why this particular building? Now, anybody in public office, the Commissioner of Police, the Chairman of the Integrity Commission, the Director of Public Prosecutions, the lady who sells these wonderful doubles in Diego Martin, could ask Terra, did you put this building for rent for Faris, Naz, and Mona? Yes or no? Yes or no? Terra says no, we're in the deep end of the pool. because that means terror is willing to lie for the Attorney General and his family. But I doubt that they are so stupid with the mountain of evidence, because then if you audit terror, you might find a deposit, correspondence, money pass to put this building to rent. Maybe. Zaman wrote after this one, everybody is in an accepting mood. The permanent Central Secretary wrote, accepting. Nazem wrote back, he accept. Everybody stamp up, sign up and copy. So we're good to go. But then they realized we could get more money from the government. Before the lease execute, Mona herself jumped out she weave and wrote this. We refer to the matter of caption and acknowledge safe receipt of your letter dated November 28, 2018, which reopens negotiations as to the quantum of rental for our premises at number 3 Alexandra Street. Now, God, Father in heaven, I have these two documents side by side on my computer, and I am watching both of them. And I'm trying to understand, why would Nazim Nahus of number 2 Windy Drive, Westmoreland by the Sea, Westmoreland on October the 15th, 2018, so impressed with the letter that was sent by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Administration and Communications that he gushed. We refer to your letter dated October 2nd, 2018, as well as your letter dated August 8th, 2018. We are pleased to accept the state's offer. We're pleased. We're pleased. So how come on November 30th, 2018, how much days is that? 45 days. What happened? What happened between Nazim's letter and this letter from Mona? What happened? What happened between this letter and the letter from Mona? Yes, now, I'm going to deal with one thing. What happened between those two letters is that a document was sent to the Ministry of Legal Affairs. Don't answer any of the trolls will be blocked and removed. What happened between these two letters, Nazim's letter to the Permanent Secretary on October 15, 2018, and Mona's letter to the Permanent Secretary on November 30th, 2018, is that Faris Al-Rawi was removed as a director. That's what happened. That is all that changed. We get away. We get away. The renting we abortionist building. We get away. Let me get blood from this stone now. We asked you to note that our premises comprises approximately 47,000 square feet of net area exclusive of executive penthouse entertainment terraces. Now, this is something I would also like to find out through the Freedom of Information Act. Did we rent the abortionist building from Mona and Faris exclusive of the executive penthouse entertainment terraces? And if we did, what is taking place up there? Because we should know. It sounds interesting. We also asked you to note that we have 89 car park spaces and not 74. And I think Nazim pointed that out. Because Nazim even told Nasser Abdul survey the land. How much did they tell him that he had? Anyway, the previous letter to you dated October 15, 2018 enclosed the survey plans for our premises, which certify the aforesaid measurements. Now, this is where these shirt and tie bandits have a problem with me. Because this is where my mind sees what you write and notices either your intention or what you left out. The purpose or the words that guided this new conversation. Because you see, we are pleased to accept the state's offer to lease. Boom! October 15, 2018. But on November 30th, 2018, all of a sudden, it's not enough money. And Mona herself joined the fray. Mona wrote to the same permanent secretary, who is now on a limb, because he or her may have clinked glasses with Marlene at Jenny's on the Boulevard or Rizzoni's in Movie Town to say, we've struck a deal with your friend Faris. We ask you to note that our premises comprise approximately 47,072.63 square feet of net area exclusive of executive penthouse entertainment terraces. We also ask you to note that we have 89 car parking spaces and not 74. The previous letter to you dated October 15, 2018 enclosed the survey plans for our premises which certify aforesaid measurements. While we are amenable to giving a reduction of rent, we are of the view that your offer of $543,000 is significantly below market rate for A-class commercial premises in Sinclair. But they couldn't get $450,000 from Terra. Terra, Caribbean, T-E-R-R-A. Terra couldn't get $450,000 from Mona. So when the government offered them $120,000 more than Terra could have get, it wasn't enough for greedy guts. She want more. Our building is equipped with 2 elevators, has standby power generation, has executive bathroom facilities. I am assuming for the big shots to take a bath. Among the 10 washrooms per general floor, has cord IT server rooms, kitchen areas, dry riser inlets, and full sprinkler systems. Has 2 executive penthouse entertainment terraces and 3 floors of secured parking. Further, our building is to current earthquake code. So if you in the penthouse entertainment terrace being entertained and the building shake, you don't have to worry. Let the games continue up there. And on the picture in it, Marlene, Faris, Mona, the permanent secretary, everybody taking all boogie because Trinidadians paying fit. And we offered $543,000 for $450,000 building, but that was not enough for Mona. Weaves are expensive, and I want to tell you all this too. For Syrian people, I know I am half Syrian, a Brazilian wax and any kind of hair removal is not like for normal people. Because us Syrians, we are very hairy people. It's our DNA, it's our genetics. So when a Syrian have to go for a Brazilian wax, it requires general anesthesia. Because ripping that out from the roots, you're not telling me. Anyway, in the circumstances, we ask you to consider agreeing upon a rental in the monthly sum of $575,000 VAT exclusive. $575,000 VAT exclusive. $575,000 plus VAT. That's our next whole $100,000. We look forward to your reply and reversion. Yours faithfully, Mona. Mona. Now, I have a lot of problems with Mona's letter, but I find myself distracted by the entertainment penthouse. I really want to go up there and see what they built because they have executive baths. And something tells me in Little Roman up there, something going on up there. And we need to find out because we are paying extra for the boogie zone. And if we pay extra for the boogie zone, the Freedom of Information Act should qualify for us to go and see what Mona charge we extra for. What is the VAT on $575,000? Come now, what all they work it out? And right there, because 10% is 57, 5% is 25, so about 75,000. So we in the $650,000 range. That's what we paying for Mona abortion building that she couldn't give away. She couldn't give it away in Trinidad. They reach all up in Barbados trying to convince people. That's the ad I get. All up Guyana. Come and rent in Trinidad night. Have penthouse entertainment. Guys. Nobody took it on. Nobody in Trinidad. Nobody in the Caribbean. So the question now that arises is, how did we end up? If you give me a minute here, I'll work something out for you. How did we end up paying $12.25 a square foot to provide of office for a department of a ministry that was paying $7 before? $7. So they almost double the rent in this time, when Rowley and the Gargoyle have convinced you times are bad. Strap down. Buckle down. We are slashing expenses to keep the ship afloat. You all remember the video? It was so much information with that dollar. With that dollar that Rowley wanted to show you how the money is spent. You all remember him on TV for 3 hours? 3 hours trying to convince you that renting this building from Faris and Mona for $12.25 a square foot in place of the $7 that we pay is him stewarding the economy. That's what it's for. That's what it was about. That's what it was about. It is P&M theft. Now, if I use the word P&M and corruption in the same line, some people try to defend it. Show me who they charge. Show me who they arrest. Show me who they prosecute. Show me who they jail. And I cannot. Because I too live in the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like land. This is the Zessa capital of the world. And while Faris is stunting in the parliament about going after gold teeth and gold chain, what's going on in Nazim House? What's going on here? What's going on when the Attorney General representing the state could rent the state himself to himself? You see, the son of a bitch got away with it in one Alexandra place where he and Manning cooked the books. Where he and Manning's at the death. But you see, we end up with a whole UNC government of lawyers, Ram Logan and Prakash and the rest of them, that could solve anything, but apparently couldn't break a lease that Faris right. That's the bullshit that they give you all to hold. And some of you all so willing, you all have, like, you have too much pocket, too much hand, or they just want to take. Give me that, I'm holding that. What you say? That's why we holding that too. Because one Alexandra place was pure theft. Pure unbridled theft. The Nahus family stink and disgusting. They're nasty with it. And they don't care. Michael Nahus, my friend for life. I grew up with him. He unfriend me from Facebook. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll have to avoid my brother-in-law functions because Michael Nahus and the family comes to those. And I won't go to that anymore. Because you stink and dirty, Michael. And you're lying to me when you're seeing me and you're telling me how much you love Trinidad and why you're staying here because you want a better country. You want a better country for who? Your account? You want a better country for yourself and your family. You don't want a better country for everybody else. Because if you did, you'd understand that you bought a piece of land for $2.5 million, you built a building on it, you're going to get $23 million in 3 years. Come on, man. Come on. Now, what am I supposed to do with that? Because I like to put on, you see, I have friends who I see them on a Saturday morning dressed in these shiny bike outfits. Everybody in a club now riding bike. The balls tight up in front here. You see them? I want to join a club. But how can I join a club where among the members of the club is Zessas? Phil, they're going to run me off the road. I want a better Trinidad and Tobago. I want the clusterfuckery to done. I want our Attorney General to be an office holder above reproach. I want a man like Wayne Sturge in that office, in his Superman drawers. I want him to go to court wearing that Superman drawers. I want to tell him, pull them down, Wayne, run free. See how don't run slack? You don't run free. You don't run loose. You run free, partner. Go and pull all, because he want that bad, you know. He want that bad. There was a lawyer in Sturge office. I want to tell you his name. His name is Merritt. And Fitzgerald Hines, who eat, you know them toilet paper that have the word of the day? Fitzgerald Hines eat them by the day. Fitzgerald Hines went in Boom Champions to talk. What you want to talk about, boy? You know, I want to give all that information after. He went there for an interview to talk as a lawyer. And he seen it. And Fitzgerald Hines changed his name that day to Duck and Run. He duck and he run. Faris Al-Rawi was supposed to call into that interview. His number was not in service. I want Wayne Sturge as the Attorney General. And I'll tell you all already, the Progressive Empowerment Party, we are no little people, you know, our people who we put in positions of authority. You will hear front of the church sitters bleating about advantage. When we put the information in the public space, how you come to move from your little 2x4 street house in Woodbrook to owning half of Trinidad. How you do that in 30 years. But you're not getting that information because you can't answer who get charged, who get jailed, who get prosecuted, who get locked up, because you can't. Because none of the people who are supposed to be doing those jobs are doing those jobs. And I am not the one to cast aspersions. Things are just slow. In our law enforcement, when it comes to white-collar crime, things are very slow. We are still processing Johnny O'Halloran. We're going to get around one day to call the heart. We have finished with Asian Steve, but that's 20 years. That's 20 years. And we're taking that bullshit. We're taking that raw, long, hard, without grease. We're taking it regular. Little jackasses coming on the live to talk about, I call Stark a sufferer. But Stark is a sufferer. But I will stick with that after. But that's what we have the people stupid. Stupid. And we want that to vote. Listen. Inform, educate, and empower is the mission. I do it every day. Tomorrow, I have 3 interviews. Actually, 2 radio and 1 public meeting in the evening for another organization, and you'll know about that tomorrow. But when we put somebody as the Minister of Health, it is to do 2 things. Facilitate fast 41 accident and emergencies nationwide. Get them under construction and up and running functionally. Legalize, legislate. Nurse practitioners to run them. Make sure that we have a roster of emergency doctors island-wide. Once that's done, their next job, or maybe simultaneously, because you could whistle and walk, find and audit every transaction. Things that will make you say, that is where the money gone. Trinidad and Tobago, the country that we want. When last we played this one, wake them up. Executive terraces at 3 Alexandra Street.
to the whole extreme. I like it too. We can salute all of the city. To Bondo, we jam it still.
And we don't run slack.
We jam it still.
We don't run slack.
To Bondo, we jam it still. We jam it.
Faris, what is your plan?
Just hold them and walk it. 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 Just hold them and walk it. Hold them and walk it. Hold them and walk it. Hold them and walk it.
No, we don't business. PNM, we don't business. UNC, we don't business. We don't care.
We don't like the no business. We don't like the no business. Oh, no, we don't business. Oh, no, we don't business.
If your name is Nahus,
Rejection.
care about a we.
Broke us it. And you go see. How we go at it.
To the full extreme and light it up.
We jealousy, oh God, the treasury. To Bondo, we jam it still. We jam it still. Economy, to fall down. We jam it still. We jam it.
Marlene, what you bringing Berkey Burke and the boys to do? What you bringing Carew to do? What you bringing everybody the Ministry of Public Administration and Communication? Why everybody pants and drawers down by the knees? What is about to happen?
Just hold them and walk it. 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 Just hold them and walk it. Hold them and walk it.
Get at it.
Hold them and walk it.
Right there.
Hold them and walk it. No, we don't business.
As long as we have Hamer on breaking, was it breaking? What's she breaking in the morning? Breaking something. Once they have she and Fazir, gain them slack.
No, we don't business.
Now listen,
We don't business.
anybody on CNC3 and TV6 tonight talk about Alexandra Place, Alexandra Street? Any of them talking about that? Or they talking about Buck and Nalini still? Come now, man.
We don't like the no business. We don't like the no business. We don't like the no business. No, we don't business. No, we don't business.
Colm, how you feeling?
No, we don't business. We don't business. 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 No, we don't business.
My boy Stark on the live. Stark, tell your fellas and them cool themselves now.
We don't business. No, we don't business. We don't business. So make way for the youth. Make way for the youth.
Make way for it. Make way. Make way. Make way. Now who's coming? Come now, man. Faris, you're buying the next building on Alexandra Street, they must have somebody looking to rent it. We rent it still. We lease it. Keith Rowley, Colm Imbert, Stuart Young, Faris Arawi, what is your plan for the people who voted you all into office? Hold on to the weave, wrap it around your hand. Yeah. We do business. Wrap the weave around your hand and hold on tight. Bucket Bronco. Hold them and walk them. What's the response for them? What do you have for them? What do you have for them? We have pepper. We have pepper for them. And we building hard. We open our next office in Champuna Road. And we just signed up Chase Village Caroni. Building for them. Pepper. Faris. Hope. Hope. Hope and pray. Hope them 749 electors that you add to San Fernando West, that the EBC add to San Fernando West today. All you know about that? Hope them 749 electors that the EBC add to San Fernando West today is enough. We come in, you know. The Progressive Empowerment Party coming like a steam train down the track, man.
You're so careless that night. Oh, you're a bad man. Bad man is a man who is with a woman and protect the young one by any means, lad. You ain't no bad man, boy. You ain't no bad man. I'm bad man that makes his own decisions. You don't need anyone. He only needs God. You ain't no bad man, boy, nah. You ain't no bad man. So,
Slum rock man.
tell them I don't need no strap to defend no people. I'm wicked and evil. So, sit up, rock back, big man look for.
You're too damn evil. And if you distress my people, then pepper up on them. From the Chief Personnel Office to the Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Public Administration, attention Mr. Claudel McKellar, dated December 27, 2018. Office accommodation for the Personnel Department, number 3, Alexandra Street, Sinclair. I refer to discussions between the Honorable Marlene MacDonald, 3 tons of fund, Minister of Public Administration, and Maxi Coffee, all-time ride or die, and myself on December 27, 2018, on the matter at caption. Everybody at this point excited because you know what coming? Executive Penthouse Entertainment area. I'm really waiting. In that regard, I am confirming my interest in the property at number 3 Alexandra Street, Sinclair, and attach, for ease of reference, previous correspondence to you, so all of you on the same page, because there's a line happening. I thank you for your continuous assistance in pursuit of this property. It was trying to escape and reach all the way in Barbados, you know. Terror out to pull it back. Come on, man. What the hell is going on? In the pursuit of this property, as the department seeks to enhance the works environment of existing staff, blame the poor black people and little Indian children who still going home with minimum wage for bullshit while you go and double the cost of the rent so that Faris and friends could use Penthouse Entertainment Terrace and create space for additional staff towards effective and efficient service delivery to our clients. Please do not hesitate to contact me or to email me if you have any questions, Chief Personnel Officer. Well, that's a lot. So that caused this document to be created. If you think that all I had was the bacchanal, we don't only have the car, we have the wheels, and where the rubber meets the road. Note for Cabinet, PA 1911, PA Press POOL 479, Volume 1, February 12, 2019. Lease rental of office buildings situated at number 3 Alexandra Street, Sinclair, to accommodate the Personnel Department. The matter for the consideration of the Cabinet is the lease rental of approximately 3,732.9 square meters, 40,166 net square feet, using net value calculation of air-conditioned office space on all floors of a building situated at number 3 Alexandra Street, Sinclair, together with 89 car park spaces owned by Zaman Enterprises Limited, to accommodate the Personnel Department for a period of 3 years with effect from the date of occupation and under other agreed terms and conditions to be negotiated between the parties and subject to the receipt of the approval from the Occupational Safety and Health Agency. The directors of Zaman Enterprises Limited are listed as follows: Ms. Mona Nahus, attorney to the stars, and gunman Abraham Al-Rawi. A copy of the annual return and notice of directors for Zaman Enterprises Limited is shown as Appendix 1. By memorandum dated 27/2018, the Chief Personnel Officer confirmed interest in office space in the property located at number 3 Alexandra Street, Sinclair, as shown in Appendix 2. The Chief Personnel Officer has verbally advised, stick a little pin right there, but put one of those lights on it as flash, in case we had to come back to that point. Has verbally advised that 187 officers will move to number 3 Alexandra Street. Officers will move to number 3 Alexandra Street, and an additional 66 officers will also be accommodated at that location upon the filling of 66 vacant posts. In other words, and this is what I say when I call it clusterfuckery. Clusterfuckery is when you have more office space than people. So now the PNM could hire more people to put to work in a non-functional, dysfunctional ministry to serve nobody, to pay minimum wage salaries to justify the rental of the executive terraces. Therefore, a total number of 253 employees are to be accommodated at number 3 Alexandra Street, Sinclair, in the undermentioned divisions units: head office, human resource, compensation, benefits, corporate services, industrial and labor relations, legal services, human resources, communications division, information and communication unit, and internal audit. Now, internal audit is very important because somebody has to cover your blasted trail. And this is the actual cabinet minute number 290 of February 14th, 2019. Lease rental of the building located at number 3 Alexandra Street, Sinclair, to accommodate the personnel department. Note PA 1911, together with the recommendations of the Finance and General Purposes Committee, was considered. Cabinet agreed. A. To release rental for a period of 3 years with effect from the date of occupation of approximately 3,782.9 square meters, 40,166 square feet inclusive of executive entertainment terraces, using the net value calculation, air conditioning, office space, and all floors, you have all that. B, that the expenditure to be incurred in respect of A above be met from the rent, lease, office accommodation, and storage vote of the personnel department. That means quickly set aside Miss Nahu's money, because I tell all before, waxing ain't cheap when you're a Syrian. C, to accept the offer of the owner, Zaman Enterprises Limited, dated February 7, 2019, to have 3 months rent-free to facilitate the fit-out and occupation of the said building. Appendix XI to the note refers, Secretary to Cabinet. So we have all of the information with which to assemble an investigation to determine if there is grounds for a prosecution into Faris Al-Rawi. Now the question on everybody's mind is this: will anything come out of this? Or will this entire thing just be more entertainment as those who ascend to the lofty heights of public office use the position to take advantage of the people? That may very well be so, and it could continue to be so, but we are coming close to an election season, and if you want a better nation, you have the power, you have the ability. This is still a democracy. It may not be one much after. If you vote either the PNM or the UNC fronts for the contract mafia into office, because they seem hell-bent on consolidating power. And that means your civil liberties and human rights will have to go. But between the mouth and the lip, there's many a chance to slip. The Progressive Empowerment Party is here, giving you a chance to run up on people's chests and kick them in their bloody face. Because you need to be able to have some say in what is done with your life and that of your future offspring, children, loved ones. If you want a better country, then you are going to have to stand up and insist upon it. Luckily, thankfully, there is a vehicle, an orange army, a growing family, a coming tsunami of patriotic, civic-minded people who are saying, we do not accept this, we do not like it so, and we insist on a better country. And if you want it, here's how you do it. Entertainment Terrace.
Let's put our country together again.
Mandate, taken up the responsibility and stood up and assembled a political vehicle that could, if all of us get on board and row in the same direction, isolate the contract mafia and their two puppet parties. There are people who write to me all the time and tell me when you block people, it prevents them from having a voice. And I agree. And I don't want to block anybody, but I don't want to have to be fighting and arguing with the trolls all the time, the sycophants. I don't want it. It's not something that I enjoy. If they could come and disagree without being disagreeable, I could live with that. I love to learn. If you could teach me a new lesson every day, that I learned something new, I feel like that day was for something, that it mattered. I have grown in my own esteem. But that is not what they do. They will come on the thread and talk shit to distract everybody else who in the conversation and send them down another path. And I have no time whatsoever for that. So, if what they want is to have respectful conversation, then by all means, wipe your feet at the door and make yourself at home.
If for 20 years you voting them in,
And it's all it is.
as soon as they win, they give you big words and enslave your soul, promising you roads and giving more votes. If they are the reason why the economy won't sprout,
When you're voting,
vote them out, vote them out. If it is the passing laws
not them alone.
can float,
Like the Zessa Act of 2019, the Gold Teeth, Gold Chain Act of 2019. Faris must go after those who live in Mova, Bitam, Lavatel, Silots, Dego Martin, Enterprise, Caranage, in Bakade. Anywhere you see them that should be small and groveling on the ground, kissing Aboud boots to swing a baton for him, or Christian Moti to go and pack chicken and chips. If they're driving something nice and they can't explain it, boom, trouble for you. And every doubles vendor in this country, if your heel is only black and chicken, can explain the wealth. How you accounting for Barra and Chana? Think about what it is they're coming with, but not for Zaman Enterprises, not for Nazim and Mona and Johnny Sukaran. They don't have to explain far at all.
when you're voting, vote them out, vote them out. If it is the building ISAs, East, West, North and South, the same way you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally, vote them out. Take no finger and
Vote them out.
rescue the country.
Show them no mercy.
Vote them out with tempo. They have been paid.
Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power.
And joyous refresh.
You say refine my strategy. Are you talking about linking up, lining up, and making friends with the other bandit parties? Are you hearing me still? We have a connection back. Whatever they're going to do, they're going to interfere with it a little bit. We're going to lose it for a minute. They're going to come back and then they're going to possibly drop the hammer because they just don't like the things that I say, because in Trinidad and Tobago, the truth will set you free. But first, it'll piss you off. Like this song should play morning, noon and night and just piss everybody off in this country. Live horror movie right here in TNT. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every day I sit and wonder how this sweet island gets so bitter. No salary but cost of living gets higher. We inhumane behavior, things don't turn upside down. Smiling faces become a frown. Against the law, we now live in fear. People know
struck. I want to be campaigning from now. Every day, I want to campaign from now till elections. I want to walk every community in Trinidad and Tobago, and I want this song played. I want you to hear what we're fighting for.
All I see is
Darkness all over. Stray bullets are running for cover.
shedding tears has become
So natural. Humans behaving more like animals. No respect for values anymore. Even the lawmakers breaking the law.
Who can we trust? Tell me who to save. Is they undertakers?
Did you brave? Wearing a bottle is the new band launching.
New sizes of boxes we measure. Nearly all household you're hearing in the morning.
Live or a movie, it will be or no showing.
Sweetie and tea.
Bring it back.
Land of the milk and honey.
Bring it back.
Sweet family. The way that it used to be, Lord. Like a long ago. What was mine was yours too.
Bring it back.
Peace and harmony.
My red, white, and black country.
What would it take for us to unite? Look how we children them going astray, and the poor hold on to faith each day. So how we have a message and playing dumb. Many go paying time to come. So all the innocent lives they taking, the mind and the souls they corrupting. Everything has a price to pay
On a great, great judgment day.
Sweetie and tea.
Bring it back.
Land of the milk and honey.
Bring it back.
Sweet family, the way that it used to be. Like a long ago, what was mine was yours. Peace and harmony, my red, white, and black country.
This verse I'm coming in. Listen to the words.
Dear God, I lift up this
There has never been a political movement like the Progressive Empowerment Party. This is not a join up, link up, mash up like NAR, ULF, DAC, Tapia, people who had no idea where they was going in the first place and then smash together to try and force an ideology out of that. The PNM have one ideology: separate, divide the country and rip it off, rob it, plunder it and loot it. We have one policy: unite the people and give them leadership, give them representation. Go into that parliament and fix it. Make it functional. Make education, public health, cost of living, the ability to own a home and jobs. Make those things real. Put them in people's within touching distance of people. Water in your tap, smooth roads, a better nation, secure borders, a nation where the drug and the crime and the human trafficking, all of that is a thing of the past. You want that country. You deserve that country, because if you're not getting that country, pack up and leave. Pack up and leave. They have nobody safe in Trinidad and Tobago. If after the next election, either PNM or UNC come into office, get out. Get out quick. Get out before they devalue. They're holding back all that, you know. They want to devalue. They want to pass certain laws. They want to make certain restrictions, but they're holding all of that back because they have an election. But after that election, you ever see them memes? Before the election, how they treat you? Oh God, rub your head, play with your ears, blow real smoke up your ass. Yeah? That's the truth. And after the elections, what happened then? What happens after? What happened to Trinidad and Tobago for the last 4 years? Failing. And they don't care. Because they don't have to answer. The Progressive Empowerment Party promised you our first act as a government is to pass into law, recall legislation. If we do one thing, that thing will put the power of the parliament back in the hands of the population, because it is an affront to decency that you can vote somebody into office and then they fail to deliver and you cannot remove or fire them and you're stuck with that for 5 years. Imagine you marry a woman or a man and they're holding you in your house, and the law is you can't break up with them for 5 years or they live together. You go mad. That's why our country is how it is. That recall law is the ability to open the door and put the things in a garbage bag outside. And that's where we need to go. That's what we need to be. There are a lot of people who are confused and they think like Andre Gower, who posted a certain nonsense on the thread, who think that the past equals the future. That is not so, friend. And if what you eat for breakfast yesterday is what you eating for dinner today, you need guidance. Stay, sit up, shut up, and listen. And maybe we can help you move forward into reality. Because everything couldn't change until it changed. Slavery couldn't end until it ended. Apartheid was never going away until it went away. A black man will never be president of the United States, but he got 2 terms. An orange man couldn't win and one did. The fact of the matter is, all of the things that were a certain way was that way for a while. Saddam Hussein, Manuel Noriega, look at the world, Gaddafi. Who thought Listen, partner, I got block here. I'm telling you now, if you like being on the tread, stop it. You're moving like a troll. Cool it. Alright? It is time for us as a people to reach deep down and say, as one people under one flag, we want a better nation. That is where we, and listen, never ever has it been where this point before an election, 50% of the population is telling the pollsters they're not interested in the PNM or the UNC. That there, right there is where the rubber meets the road. Now I know, looking from where you are at a future that you don't understand, that you can't comprehend, I know how difficult it must be to envision changing this level of change. But I want to tell you something. When you wake up in a country that works, where jobs are plentiful, so young people don't have to gravitate to small petty crime. It is the small crimes that have your house burglar proof, you know. It's the small crimes that have you locked tight and locked down. You're not really expecting hitters to come to look and hit you. But you're expecting that if you forget a window open, you will lose your laptop and your telephone and whatever. Because that's the country that we live in. And those people who climb into your window, doing that because they have no way to advance themselves and their own desires. And unfortunately, that is human nature, to want better. Now imagine you live in a country where the government understands that, and it understands that a major function and purpose of government is the welfare and well-being of all the citizenry. Imagine that government making jobs for all. Jobs for all. And we're not talking baton swinging amalgamated security guards, and we're not talking packing KFC and Royal Castle. We're talking proper careers. We're talking opportunities to turn net employees into net employers. We're talking about a real small business development that could create crucibles of growth for people with real projects. So we give them hope and opportunity. Imagine if we could bring the retirees back into the national conversation. We have a plan for that. Open all the schools. Open the schools in the afternoon. The school done, make it available to people who want classrooms to teach. Imagine you get to go and learn marketing from a marketing guru who's done it for 50 years. Come on. This is counterintuitive, no-brainers. And I tell Kid Rowley all the time, I quote Albert Einstein, if you can't explain it easy, you don't understand it. You don't understand it. I do. I understand everything that is required to fix this country. And I can explain it very simply. When Stuart Young went on TV6 yesterday morning and said that you cannot secure our borders because America can't secure their borders, he demonstrated why his brain is in his head to keep his ears from fighting. Trinidad and Tobago is a dot. We could secure Trinidad with one helicopter if we wanted. Plain talk. There are things that you could utilize right now, sonar boys, 360-degree radar, unmanned drones, the maritime security wall. There are ways that you could shut the borders down in this country completely, and that LNG tanker or whatever it was that bring the $200 million worth of drugs, you would have stopped 3 miles out at sea. Any fisherman that go beyond that 3-mile line, coming back in, check inside the mouth of the grouper and the kingfish in the pirogue. Look below the boat. Make sure that they ain't dragging cocaine into the country and guns. The Trinidad and Tobago that you want could be secured. If we secure the nation's borders and then we move the port of Spain to a facilities 5 to 10 times the size that we have now and unstuff every container on the port until Trinidad is no longer a narco state, then all of a sudden the guns that we have here, the police officers could pick them up and we could give them incentive. We could give them incentive. We could put a $2,000 bounty on a gun. If you bring in an AR-15 for me, we're melting it down right now because 3 months. We're giving police officers 3 months. You have 3 months to make $1 million. Because the Prime Minister, Keith Christopher Mugabe Samgarowli, said in 2017, if no more came in since then, that there were 30,000 illegal guns in Trinidad and Tobago. And if we put a bounty of $2,000 on those guns, that's $60 million. And there are 6,000 police officers in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, so all they could make a bag of money. So here what? You have 3 months, go for the guns. Races. When your shift done, say, boss, I staying for next shift, I just bringing in a van load of guns. I have a wheelbarrow, I have a truck, I just going for guns. Because the police know who have all the guns. The police know who doing all the wrongdoing. But we've never given them motivation and incentive to go and get the job. Get the job done. We have this belief that we can cuss them and castigate them and call them rogues and criminals, and somehow that will motivate them to go and work. But it doesn't work so. It wouldn't work so in Gerard Aboud's store. Gerard Aboud of Starlight Drugs, who told me the police done getting paid, so leave them, let them do their work. But that is not what keeps Gerard and his staff out 9 o'clock in the night, peddling food and drinks in Starlight in Maraval and Diego Martin. Everybody motivated by the same desires. And if it works for you, it works for them. So give them hope and opportunity too. I want to see my police officers driving Mercedes-Benz and BMW of hard work. I don't want them getting it from cocaine peddlers and human traffickers. I want to know that we could put a bounty on every crime. Now you're talking. Because if you're bringing the corrupt, I'm giving you a percentage of what you recover. So a man thief $5 million and you bring it in and you get a $50,000 broken off for you. You go in and tell your wife, baby girl, we're going on a vacation, Disneyland. Yeah? Because everybody, again, driven by the same things. Everybody wants better. So why we can't make it possible for everybody to have better? Why we don't abolish the SEA and make all the schools prestige schools? So the children that formerly used to go to St. Joseph Presentation and Fatima could do well. And the children from Tranquility and Mokorapo and San Fernando Secondary, all of them could do well too. Why we can't do that? Why we can't make 41 proper accident and emergency 24/7 health centers in Trinidad and Tobago, one in every constituency, so that poor people could get the same service that Sabga, Aboud, and Chin getting in West Shore and St. Clair Medical Center? Why we can't have that? Ishgal Baran's daughter, when she bong she too, she don't want to sit down in St. James, she don't want to sit down in San Fernando, she's go West Shore, San Fernando, St. Joseph, she going somewhere, they serving her coffee in Cristal. They're paying for that. Why we can't make sure that everybody have the same access to things like that? If you make it possible for everybody to have a job, Philip, how would you do that? When you diversify the economy, you make entrepreneurial farming a thing, you set a goal of food self-sufficiency by 2030, you say that we will use consumption data to identify the consumption patterns of the country and redirect to what we could grow and what we could export for what we can grow, so you still come down to a zero balance. Self-liquidating is what they call it in big business, in Nestle and PepsiCo, zero, a zero-sum game. Self-liquidate. We sell pepper, Maruga scorpion pepper, and we import wheat because Chinese like the roti. No problem. Everybody happy, and the economy don't lose foreign exchange. You diversify the economy to entrepreneurial farming. We get into the marine business because Trinidad and Tobago, this is something that is news to the government. We are the only Caribbean island outside of the hurricane belt. So we should be dominating the world in the storage of pleasure craft. That is billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Shipping turnaround. Shipping turnaround is simply a ship pull up to your dock and you restock it and the crew change out and they pay for that. We could make cruise ship tourism, put 1 million feet on the ground in Tobago in 1 year. And 1 million feet on the ground in Tobago is $1 billion into the economy. And I want you to understand what $1 billion into that economy means. That is $1.5 billion more than they get through THA and central government to play shackle the people in Tobago right now. Trinidad and Tobago could be a better country. And after all of that, all of the ambassadors and the high commissioners and all over the world dancing in other people's terraces, bring them back, because you only need 5. Europe, United Nations, Africa, Asia, Americas. That's all you need. 5. And their job? 2 jobs. Sell Trinidad to the world and bring foreign direct investment and business back to Trinidad. We willing to work with anybody. If you bring in jobs, we will give you rent-free, gas-free, internet-free like yourself. Amazon, come and set up here. Come and set up an Amazon here and put our people to work. Amazon say they're hiring people who don't even have degrees. They're hiring people straight out of jail as long as you're willing to work. They have 70,000 people across the road from the lavas. Put the buildings there. Put the businesses there. Put the factories and the warehouses there. This country is easy to fix. It's easy to fix. It's easy to fix. Stuart Young is a liar. Stuart Young is a liar. Keith Rowley is a deceiver. You have 2 tongues in his head. These jackasses have no clue what they're doing. Carl Bimbert is a minion of the 1% contract mafia. Shut this economy down so they could steal and take what they wanted. This entire country has been run into the ground by 2 political parties that has ruined it. We are a shithole, yes. We are a cesspool, yes. But we don't have to remain one. We could be a better country. 347-4PEP is our hotline. peptrinbago@gmail.com, peptt.com, Pep app. We have a Pep app. You can download it from the app stores. We have 4 offices. 1 in New York, a Pep headquarters, 10th Avenue, 137 Manahambra Road, St. Madeleine. Soon to be joined by Tampuna Road, Arima, and then Chase Village, Carrion. Then we're going to Tobago. And when we touch down, whole place shell down. Trinidad and Tobago has every right and opportunity to fix it and fix themselves and get themselves to the country that we always knew we always deserved to be. Or we can do like my friend Andre Gow, who could come on the chat and just talk about all the things that he learned and he read in the papers about how things used to be, and not have an idea or a plan or even the passion to try to change it. And that's where we different. Because Andre don't know anything that I don't know. I know my history in things that when I say it on this live video at night, CNC3 and TV6 and Loop, just run and research and see, Philip, correct? Shit, we didn't know this. Publish that tomorrow. I know my country. I know the roots and the history of my country. But I also know its potential. And that is what I am betting all of this effort on. And if you want a better country, you, Andre, for you and your family, if you want a better country, don't you think that you have a responsibility to try? If we fail, we end up with a PNM and a UNC. So that's your worst case scenario. If you think that that's inevitable anyway, then what you're losing if you try? A better Trinidad and Tobago. join the Orange family. We meet every Saturday at noon. Right now, the Central team, if you are in Central and you would like to be a part of the team, message me, message Felicia Holder, message Shari Wilson, message Tony Defoe. We're building out the Central team, the East team ready to rock and roll and getting ready to roll out in Tampuna Road. We are organizing a meeting in Shagwanas shortly. Our next meeting is Shagwanas. Stay tuned for that. We have the 7 days party on June. God, Father, Lord Jesus, I need to give myself these things at the, I need to keep them at the tip of my fingers, you know. The 7 days party. I wonder if I have it saved with the correct name. PEP 7 days. Please, Father, tell me yes. We're having a 7 days party in Catalyst, and I don't think I have it saved by name, but that will be on my wall again shortly. But it should be no, I don't have it. Well, I'll get it to you. But we have a party that's happening. Somebody please share it on the wall. One of you must have it. Back in Times. I want to see if there's PEP Back in Times. If it is, we in the business. No, we don't have it in there. PEP Back in Times. We're having a Back in Times at Catalyst. It's next month. On the 4th of May, we're having our next PEP market at Lions Civic Center. The first 2 were spectacular and fantastic. If you are somebody who's in the manufacture, the selling, the cooking, wherever, and you want a stall in the PEP market, sign up, link up with Felicia, Satish, Shari, Chrissy, all of the crew. The next things that's happening, we have a lot of stuff going on. Aha! We're looking for a hops baker. Anybody who baking hops, please. All right, we want to buy hops from you for a project that we have going on. If you could bake hops, message me. Finally, this is where I do this every night now. I am beggar in chief. We need money. There is PayPal and there is First Citizens Bank for those of you who are on the ground down in town. If you're in town, deposit in the First Citizens Bank account. If you're not and you're abroad and you would like to make a deposit, a one-time deposit of $5,000 US right now. I'm feeling that. I see a fella do that. Creflo dollar, that man can raise funds, boys. Yeah, somebody is feeling $5,000. You're going to make a deposit right now. Anyway, if you're feeling to make a donation right now to this party, we need it. We are disconnected from the contract mafia and the 1%. We get all of our funds by all of these fundraisers and from the beneficiary of the party members and those who are interested in a better Trinidad and Tobago. If you would like to help us, please make a deposit now, or you could walk into any of the offices and hand over a check and say, with love for my country. Until tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we will be, tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, we will be on 104.7 till noon. At 12:15, I will be on Power 102 as part of a panel discussion on campaign finance reform. At 6:30 tomorrow evening, I will be at Jenny's on the Boulevard in a public meeting that Joel D'Souza and the animal rights people are having. They invited me to speak. I'm gladly I would like to go and add a few words because everybody knows the Progressive Empowerment Party is the proponents of the Animal Bill of Rights. So we stand for that and we stand with you and we stand for better Trinidad and Tobago. So busy day tomorrow for the PEP. Until tomorrow, sleep well, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.